Hello, this is Rich with breedingwiththemarkets.com. I'm here with Sire. Today is May 29th, 2025. Sire is new into the mentorship program with breedingwiththemarkets.com. Go ahead, Sire. I'll let you have the table.
My name's Sire. I'm 26 years old. I work as a mechanic, and I started trading last July. I started with options, and recently, a month ago, I got into futures.
Nice. Have you been following anyone on YouTube, or you made an interesting statement when I first met you about maybe some reasons you don't follow a bunch of people on YouTube? You want to go ahead and explain that?
Yeah, I mean, I never really followed anybody on YouTube, but I would kind of just bounce around and just see what's out there. Really, what my chart used to just look like support and resistance lines when I was trading options. That's how it looked, and I would kind of just bounce around and just feeling lost and everything. But I wouldn't really like subscribe to anything that anyone was saying just because they were all saying the same stuff, and it just something about it was just off to me. I just never trusted the information.
So, what do you think about support and resistance, in your own opinion?
For me, I mean, obviously everybody's different. That could work for some people. For me, I just felt lost, and I felt like there's so many lines on my chart, and I just got lost in the market with all those lines and where was I at weekly, monthly, daily charts, and I had no way of knowing where to execute a trade. It was all bad.
Now, how long have you been a mechanic?
For 5 years.
5 years. Did you go
Yeah.
to school for that? Like, obviously you went to school, but I don't know, like, is it hours, months? What is it? Like,
I did go to
a trade
my
school?
yeah. I got a associate's degree in automotive technology, and then I got a job at the dealership, and then I've done training through the dealership where they send you to training for specific manufacturer stuff like that. Yeah.
So, so if you can compare schoolwork or the 2 year program that you had degree versus on the job training, how would you describe that?
So when you're like, let's say you're at school and you're at the school shop, they're teaching you all the. It's like the same thing as these traders saying all these big words and these phrases and everything like that. When you're a new guy getting working on cars, they're telling you all this theory basically, and it's not hands on. So you end up knowing all this random stuff, but you can't put it into practice. If someone tells you fix this car, you're completely lost until you have that experience, until you have that hands on training. I mean, none of that stuff matters that they teach you, honestly.
Yeah, and I know nothing about cars and being a mechanic or anything, but did you have like a someone you hung out with for the first few months?
Yeah, so I had a few apprenticeships, and that's really where I got my experience and learned a lot from the guys that knew what they were doing, that had years, decades of experience.
So, how did you come across me?
I came across just your YouTube videos.
Okay, and you recently went through the mentorship program, and how do you feel about it on what you've learned so far?
Oh man, since taking the classes, I feel so much more confident in when I'm placing a trade. I have like less anxiety and less fear of like what's going on in the market. I know where I'm at, so I'm not worried about if I'm going to get put in a position where I'm fearful, super fearful and uncertain. So my confidence has gone up a lot, and the fact that I'm able to go back on the still chart and see exactly where I could enter if I were back then, what I would be able to do, where I could execute a trade, where I would be at in that time frame. It's just a whole different perspective on it, coming from just let's hop in the market and just react to what's going on.
And after the 2 day session that we've had so far, have you seen anything like that on YouTube about
Oh
other people
no,
teaching?
like what you teach?
Yes.
No, I never have seen anyone else.
So your confident level. So what was your confident level when you were using support and resistance and doing options and stuff? And for people that don't know anything about options, options is a word. Options is a way to purchase indices and stocks and stuff like that. It's just for a cheaper price, but you still have to understand and know when to buy the option, i.e., whether it be a chart, fundamentals, or whatever your flavor is. But so your level of confidence when you were buying options using support and resistance versus now, and obviously you're going to continue to grow and work on that skill.
Yeah.
So where do you think you're at
I
from?
feel like I'm so much better already. Just off, I'm still very new. Obviously there's a lot of stuff to learn, but I feel like I just gained so much knowledge compared to what I had before. And before I would take a trade, and I wasn't blaming myself because I was doing the best with the information that was provided to me. I was trying to make sense of it all, and I was doing my best. Still, I didn't have somebody to show me something that could actually work and that's repeatable, and you could go back and hone in your skills. I didn't have that. So almost every day felt random to me. So I had no confidence because it was so up and down, and I couldn't practice anything. And I was just trying to make sense of it all at that time.
Have you been practicing on a still chart?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
have you done any trading since then?
Um, I have done a couple days of trading, and it's just been small amounts of contracts, like one or two micros.
Hmm.
because I'm not really worried about the money or anything like that. I'm just trying to see where I'm at, and it's been good. It's been really good.
So you're about if you had to guess about how many trades a day or a session maybe, and I don't know your schedule when you may not have time.
So yeah, I trade. I'm able to trade the first hour of the market open, and then during my lunch break, I'm able to trade around like 45 minutes.
Lunch break. So you're
Yeah,
in that work?
yeah. So I go on
Oh
lunch at
man.
11, and I'm able to if it's there, I could trade for that. So an hour and
Yeah.
45 minutes. But from the past couple of days, I think it's around like 40 to 50 trades.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice. So would you call that overtrading? A lot of people say, "Oh, it's overtrading." Would you call that overtrading?
No, I wouldn't call it over trading. I mean, like I'm scalping what I see, and I'm getting in and out, and I'm securing my profit, and I'm letting the chart do what it needs to do. And then when I see another opportunity, I could hop right back in. And that's
Nice.
how I like to trade. That's how I like to do it.
Yeah. Compounding. You can't beat compounding, right?
Yeah.
You can beat gambling, but you can't beat compounding. So, are we gamblers? Do I teach you how to gamble? Do I teach you intuition, a hunch? It's going to take you 10 years to get it.
No, I don't feel like I'm gambling. I feel like before I was definitely gambling, and yeah, I didn't get anywhere with that. It wasn't helpful in the long run trying to
Mm.
learn all that stuff, and it did really feel like a gamble. And now I feel like I'm actually trading. I don't have that feeling of, oh man, I'm gambling. Like I don't have it.
Do you have any anxiety when you get to the chart? When you open the chart in the morning, or say, you're at work and you open the chart, whether you're being at work or offsite, I'm not honing in to where you're at and what you're
Yeah.
doing. The point is that in general, when you do open up the chart, immediately able to see where you're at in the market and whether a trade's going to present itself pretty quickly or you're going to have to wait.
Yeah, like even this morning, I opened up the chart, and within 2 or 3 minutes, I was already anticipating what was going to go down, and I'm pretty sure a bunch of us probably took the same trade this morning.
Nice, nice,
Yeah,
nice. Isn't it funny what's going to go down, right?
yeah, yeah,
What's cooking, right? Yeah,
yeah.
nice. That's a nice cocky feeling, right?
Oh yeah, man, it was definitely that was
It's
a
like you
crazy
got
feeling.
some shit in the market. It's like you got some dirt on the market, right?
Yeah, man, it felt really good to see that play out and just reaffirm what I was looking
Yeah.
at was true.
So each time that happens, whether it be in the morning or whether it be over the day or at night or whenever, all that is knowledge. Over and over and over again. So the skill, like I said, your skill and your time that you put in the market, the time that you spend on still charts is just going to help you so much. You're going to be able to visually see things immediately in the chart. People used to laugh and they say, "Well, how long does it take you to open up a chart and you can see a trade?" I said, "Immediately." And they couldn't fathom that. Like, would that be a wrong statement? I mean, you've seen me trade, right?
Yeah,
And I think I did buy some. I bought an account with you, right?
we did some trading. I saw you trade in the Asian session.
Oh, the shitty Asian
Yeah,
session.
it was shitty, but I mean, still worked out though.
Nice, nice. So, yeah, I did a video or two, and I buy these accounts and stuff like that because the mentees would like to see some trading and stuff. But now I get kind of in trouble as if I'm buying too many accounts and all that kind of bullshit. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I'm here trying to mentor and teach people. I don't know what people expect, but a lot of people would like to know, how the platform works on a certain prop firm. That's time in the market, and not only that, it's also a benefit to the prop firm, right? I mean, it's a benefit to the prop firm if you're showing, uh, how things operate and stuff like that, because that's another learning thing. It's like, how does this uh, platform work, and what's futures like, and stuff like that. You want to show people, right? And
Right.
unfortunately, the other side just doesn't get it. But that's besides the point. But when I took some trades, and we don't trade together, I don't trade with anybody, and I don't call
Right.
out trades. I teach you how to trade, right? You were following my trades. Would you learn? Like,
No.
yeah. So signals groups. This is my opinion, but signals groups and discords, toxic discords. You always have someone in the discord, goofing around or saying I'm long, and he or she's probably not even in the market. They're just fucking with the heads of everyone.
Scrolling. Yeah.
Yeah. But so how do you feel? I mean, you're by yourself in California in a sense that you're just honed in and you're doing your thing on trading and you're young and you got a long time to go. So
Yeah,
how
man.
do you feel about that skill? Like,
I feel really good. Just like, the discords, if you're trying to get a signal off somebody, I never even approached it like that in the first place. I always did want to have a skill set. It's something that could last and I could hone in on my skills and refine them. And I didn't have a system. I was trying to piece it together myself. I would have never been able to do that. Looking back at it, I would have never been able to come up with something that could work as consistently as this. So I'm glad that I found you and that I'm able to just get the reps in and practice what I know is going to work. And that's all I can do from here, you know?
And you took that risk, right? I mean,
Yes,
you did
for
take
sure.
that risk.
Mhm.
Um, and we didn't know each other before then, but just out of curiosity, you probably watch some of my videos, and I don't show people how to trade or something. But what clicked for you to go ahead and take that risk and sign up for me to mentor you?
For me, I kind of realized when you were talking about these guys, like, does your chart look like this? Are your indicators lagging? All this stuff, and I started reflecting, and I'm like, well, shit, like this sounds like what I'm doing, and I know this is kind of like this can't be working because so many people are failing, yet everyone's doing the same thing. So I was like, okay, he's got something, you know. I didn't know what it was at the time, and I like the fact that I knew you were in and out of the market scalping, which like naturally that made more sense to me anyways. And I couldn't be one of the guys to just hold a trade for too long. Like I just can't sit there and do that. So the fact that you're bringing up all these things, which I kind of thought in the first place myself, they interested me.
And there's nothing better than compounding. It's all about leverage. So you can get in and out of the market quickly, and quickly could be, it depends on candles, right? I mean, we don't have a magic wand, but it depends on how quick you're going to be in and out of that market. Because if we get in the right place, it'll have a nice push, and it won't take long at all. That's what's great. Is to be in the market with the highest probability trades. When you're in the market with the highest probability trades, that means there's not necessarily momentum behind you, because we're not momentum traders, right? What we are is we know when to get in the market with the highest probability that gets that burst, that initial burst, right? So we get that, and then the rest of the people will chase price. We don't chase price, and we don't follow the herd, right?
Right.
So how often are you on your days off? How often are you on the still charts practicing?
I mean, I was looking at the charts before and everything, but now that I know what I'm looking for, I'm doing try to like 2 to 3 hours a night, and then trade when I
Mhm.
can during the day, and then just go back every day and review. Maybe I missed an area that would have been pretty good, and just look back at the charts. But I'm putting a lot of time into it after work and everything.
Nice, nice. And if I could give you one advice, and all the other mentees, continuously go back and look at charts and do everything that I pointed out to you, and find those gems, mark the gems, and find everything and put it all together, because it's muscle memory, it's learned behavior, and your eyes aren't going to lie to you. So as soon as it happens in the market, even an overview or honed in, you're going to see it. You're not going to think about it. You're not going to ask yourself, is this right? Am I seeing it right? And you're not guessing, because on a 1 minute time frame, even though it's 1 minute, it can seem like it takes a long time at
Yeah.
times. And then
Yep.
there's other times, depending on the liquidity in the market, not liquidity sweeps, but liquidity in the market on news, or the right after the open, the spreads are wide and it's starting to race and roam, and hit the things that we like. You have to, from here on out, I mean, your entire life, if you really want to be a professional trader, whatever that means, whether you're buying lunch every day from your winnings, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Um, the point is that it's a skill that you just keep practicing, and it becomes boring. It becomes second nature, and you just keep practicing and practicing. And then when you get to the live market, it flows fearlessly without hesitation, and you get in and out of the market. Like today, I traded 12 accounts. I just rotated them. That's how fluid it is. It's
Yeah.
just, you see the move, you know the move, you understand the move, and I keep rotating in and out, and not scared of pullbacks. And
Right.
even I love pullbacks, actually.
Yeah.
You get a better price. So we figure out, we always want to buy, if we have an entry, we want a better entry. Otherwise, it just goes in our profit and we get out, or we get a better entry and then it goes in our profit and we get double or triple or whatever the case may be. But the point is, over leveraging. There are traders that over leverage. So either they know how to over leverage, or they know how to trade, and there's somewhere in the middle. Okay. When you have that skill, it doesn't matter how much money that you put in the market, as long as you're honing in on your skill only. Because the money and the leverage means absolutely nothing in trading, other than maybe you have a small drawdown. You have a small drawdown, and then you over leverage, and then you have a trailing stop,
Yeah.
and it might spike up really quick and then knock you out really quick. But if that happens, the skill will never leave your soul. And yeah, keep practicing. And when you mentioned that about 2 or 3 hours a day or whatever, there was a gentleman that I interviewed, Kent from Canada. He had an interesting thing that he did every morning. Was he went an hour before the market or wherever the time was. He went back a day and was looking at that market, getting things honed in,
Hmm.
and refresh the memory, right?
Yeah.
Refresh the memory, and then the market opens. That's how I took it. Like, hey, that's
Yeah,
a
that's
good
that's a good
idea,
idea. Yeah, yeah.
right? So, you wake up in the morning because it doesn't take long. I wake up and I'm just like, okay, I'm making coffee, and then I turn on the TV, and then I'm looking around, and I'm like, okay, 3 minutes left. I have to put myself on trader probation, not to trade before the market and stuff like that. I'm
Yeah.
like trying to figure stuff out, and because I can't watch a market, I can't. That's the one thing is well, I mean, we were watching the market. I was going through the market. I'm like, shit, I'll just get an account, or actually, did I? I think I got an account. You're like, you heard of the order? How did that work out?
No, yeah, I think I was hearing order filled in the background.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
looked at I'm like, I gotta get an account, and we were doing, and you're like, are you trading right now?
yeah.
I'm like, shit, yeah, I better bring it over here. So I
I mean,
swiped
so
it over.
this morning I was at the chart at probably like 6:25, just a couple minutes before market open, and yeah, I felt like I kind of knew what was gonna happen, and it did. And man, I mean, if I wanted to, like, I didn't have to keep on watching the chart. I could have just got ready for work right in like 10 minutes after market open. I could have been done if I wanted to, but I kept on going, after that.
Nice, nice. And isn't that a great feeling, right?
Yeah.
It's just it's a really a great feeling when you have that confidence level. I say this all the time, Sire, that a fear of missing out, and listen carefully, a fear of missing out is a lack of knowledge in the market, right? Anxiety, a fear of missing out, being anxiety and wanting to get into something and wishing you had that move, psychology. Psychology is just because it's a lack of knowledge.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
when when you were a mechanic, you probably had a little anxiety your first day going to the shop, right? A major
100%.
dealership. You just
100%.
got out of school and you don't know shit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. And all of a sudden, the car that you got to work on, no one knows what's going on with it, and it's been to the shop 5 times. And no one's been able to figure it out, and that's your first car. Yeah, I think I'd have a little anxiety or a little fear, like I'm gonna, maybe I can solve it, maybe not, but right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how do you relate that to trading now, each and every day?
The fear, like you said, the fear that I used to have was just, man, let's say I was in a trade and it went against me. I was so unsure of myself from my lack of knowledge that it would shake me and I would get shaken out. And that's what it's designed to do. If you're not trained and you don't know where you're at, it's going to shake you out and it's going to give you that feeling of anxiety and everything like that. And then boom, it's going to go right back to where it was going to go anyways. So I've had a few times already where that's happened to me and I was unfazed by it. And I stayed in it and it continued on. And it was a beautiful thing, because
Nice.
before there's so many times where I had the fear of missing out and I see a huge candlestick and I'm in on that and then boom, just wick right back up and then I'm out because it's all comes down to knowledge and experience. And if you don't have somebody if you're serious about anything, you need a mentor, you need somebody that's going to, teach you their lessons that they learned, because trying to do it any other way, just on your own, gaining knowledge it's going to take you forever. You're setting yourself back. And I knew that once coming out of options, I knew when I went into futures that I was going to need somebody to, educate me on what to do.
I don't believe in intuition in the market. I think I've made that very clear.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because you cannot prove intuition. Someone can say why they got into a trade and then revert back to how many years they've been in the market, and you'll just learn over time. I think that's wrong, a hunch, intuition. I'm a firm believer in don't tell me, how many hours you worked in a day. Tell me what you got done,
Right.
type thing. Because someone could say, oh yeah, I was at work for 12 hours today. I'm exhausted. Well, someone did twice the amount of work in 6 hours.
Right.
Oh, it's not a matter of time. Time is nothing. Time is money on how you spend it. But nobody is going to say the market's going to turn because if I had this 10 years of experience in the market. When I show
Yeah.
you,
I mean,
I show you
sorry.
objective things that you can go back. That's actually objective. It's objective evidence in the market that you can go back, test. We don't back test, but you can go back. I don't care what pair it is. I don't care if it's gold, oil, pigs, corn, anything that moves, anything that moves.
Yeah.
Uh, that you can go back. And that solidifies exactly that. If you see this in the live market and you're trading, you take it without hesitation. Take it without hesitation. And I'm not saying go in a live market because everyone has to know where their skill level is. Like, am I still in a demo? And am I in a live market? Am I in a test account at a prop firm? Everyone must understand where their skill level is. And how do you feel about that as far as I've been trading for a decade. I've been trading for 20 years.
I
Does
feel
that,
like if you're trading for a decade or whatever and you're going off intuition, it's I don't even recognize it because you're not doing a skill set. If you're practicing a skill set, how is it going to take you 10 years? If you're putting in the work, you don't
correct?
need an intuition if you have a skill set that you've been practicing day in and day out. I don't know how long it could take somebody to get at a very proficient level if they're doing the right things over and over. Whereas if you're just, oh man, you're just out there in the market and you're like, I think I've seen this before, but I'm not sure. And you just have a hunch that it's going to do something and then it doesn't, then you're unsure of yourself again. So I don't know. I mean, I don't see how that could be a thing.
Yeah, no, no. And when we have 95+% of traders failing,
Right.
uh, that gives me pause. Like it's a concern. Like if we had 95% of mechanics failing, we'd be fucked,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like
It would be a big problem.
we'd be a big problem, right?
Yeah.
And if we had 95% of drivers failing, we'd be screwed.
Yeah.
And if we had, 95% of cashiers failing, so why do we have 95 plus, percent of traders failing? Well, fuck. It's the education. It's the
100%.
intuition. It's the fear of missing out because you have a lack of knowledge. And all these people on YouTube and everything else want to say, well, I'll get rid of your psychology. Psychology comes from knowledge. There is no psychology in trading if you have the knowledge. If you practice something day in and day out and it's repeatable, there is no psych.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, because all these things that they try to push onto you, the meditation, the cold showers to get a better trade, if you're looking at it the right way, none of that shit is ever going to matter when you're taking a trade. It has nothing to do with each other. But I don't know if it's to sell more or just people
Oh,
love the psychology of things because people love to overcomplicate things and glorify stuff. I don't know, but that's not my style. That's why I never subscribed to that stuff in the first place.
you're a smart man. Smart man, because a shitload of people subscribe to that, and some of them would come over to my way, and we have to detox. I'm like, fucking forget everything you learned and heard, man. Just forget it. It's part of you. I get it, but you got to forget it because this is different. This is objective trading in the market where you're able to practice a skill, an absolute skill in the market. And I show you, I teach you, I show you how to go back, how to find things and how to do things. And it is repetitive over and over again. If you do thousands and thousands of times out of all of these gems that come together, I don't know what the hit rate is, but it's really fucking powerful. Like,
Right.
like it's, no one would fucking believe it.
Yeah, I
Right?
noticed. I noticed that my win rate went up a lot. I think I had 10 consecutive trades that were green.
hmm Wow. Wow.
So,
Now, if we throw leverage on top of that, which I'm not telling you to do
right.
because
Yeah.
I don't, because money and leverage will get into your head in the wrong way because trading is a skill. The money will get in the way of that skill if you're actually truly working on the skill.
Mhm.
And that's what I tell a lot of people is if they're on a demo or they're on a test account in a prop firm, don't go out and buy a 150 or 300,000, combine or PA account or test account. Go ahead and buy the smaller account and learn to trade. Trading, learning to trade and I'm not saying learning to trade, but practicing your skill, right? Nobody should be buying any of that unless they have a skill. Unfortunately, they're all told that they have a skill because everyone's doing the same shit, and it's not a skill; it's gambling. Uh, this is worse. Trading is worse than a casino. Seriously, it's done in your house, on your phone, on any computer or laptop, and everyone that's running around and running their mouth is all saying the same shit. It's that truth effect, right?
Right.
So, have you surfed the internet and kind of looked at people's charts or hear what they say? What
I
what do
actually
you
find it
what do you
so
think?
fun.
What do you think when you hear them?
I actually find it so entertaining to do that and just see what other people are doing. It's mostly on YouTube. I see YouTube shorts of
Yeah,
people like taking trades and stuff like that. And then I'm seeing with what I know now where I'd be in that trade or where I think it's going to go. And it's just crazy to watch. It is, but I find that fun to still search around and just see what these guys are doing and I love to hear them say the same stuff because I'm going to do something different. And
yeah,
if they want to continue on with that, great. More power to them.
yeah. Well, when you say same stuff, it's not the same stuff I'm teaching you.
No.
Unfortunately, it's popularity. What's popular is not necessarily what's right. And how do you influence? people. There's just one of me and one of you, and unfortunately, popularity can basically hide the truth of basically
Correct.
how to trade and navigate the market. Is there anything else that you could say to the community that may help them in any way? I know you haven't surfed, YouTube a whole lot in a sense of signing up for a bunch of programs or following a bunch of people, and luckily you didn't,
Right. Yeah. I tell
because
them use your best judgment on who you want to teach you and do your research. I found you and I had looked at a lot of other people and I had been in a few discords for less than a day and I never signed up with anyone else's course. But I would just say that do your research if you're out there because you're gonna have to learn from somebody and whoever you decide to teach you, it's gonna make a huge impact on where you want to go with this stuff. So just do your research and you know yeah, that's all I could say. Like that's on them. That's on a personal, individual level on
Mhm.
what you relate to. And some people, it might be great what they're hearing or what they're seeing, but for me, it wasn't. So
Very good. And are you happy that you didn't sign up with support and resistance or impulsive breakouts and blah blah blah?
yeah, I'm glad. I'm grateful for my journey, and I've taken a lot of losses, obviously, and I've been lost in the market for so long too. Even I've only been trading for a year, but it's been rough, and I'm just glad. I learned a lot of lessons, and the timing was pretty good. So I'm happy.
Nice, nice, nice. And that's part of tuition to the market, right? Because
Yes.
if we've done a bunch of things that actually don't work, we should probably stop that, right?
Right. That's what I knew. I knew something had to change. That's what I knew. I knew something had to change, and I knew that I wasn't wanting to go down a path of years and years of dedicating time to trading and not going anywhere in it because I'm not going to work hard at something and not see a return at it.
Mhm.
But you definitely can. You definitely can if you're not on the right track.
Now I'll ask you a little question, but I'm not going to go like in the months. But where do you see yourself in a year from now? Where do you conservatively, right?
Conservative.
Conservatively, where do you see yourself in a year from now practicing the skill set that I taught you, that I mentored?
I haven't really gone a year from now, but I have big goals with trading just because it's a passion of mine, and I know I'm going to be doing it regardless. It doesn't feel like a chore for me to hop on the charts or
Mhm.
anything like that. Like I'm really into it. So my first goal though would be to pass a combine
Mhm.
because I've gone through 7 or 8 combines at this point. Just going on tilt, gambling, over leveraging. So I'm trying to use the skills that I have now to take it slow. So when I do pass that combine and I look at that P&L, that calendar, and I see the incremental jumps, and it's not just, oh, I passed a 50K combine in 2 days over leveraging. I'd
Mhm.
like to actually drag it out a bit just
Mhm.
so I know that I'm putting in the work and it's not gambling, it's not by luck. Like, look, here it might have taken me 2 or 3 weeks of
Mhm.
little base hits, but I got there consistently. And then
Nice.
after that, my goal would be to take a payout, even if it's a small payout. And that's really where I'm focused on right now is just getting past that combine first because I have been close a few times and just the way I was unsure of myself. So I'd get close and then I would choke because I didn't know where I was at in the market. So I'm excited to get close again and just break through this time.
Well, here's the thing also is if somebody passes a combine gambling,
Yeah, I mean, it means nothing.
now you have to gamble another 5 more days. So what,
Yeah.
what are the odds, right?
And see,
So,
that's the thing. I was basically passing these combines and blowing them, and I wasn't going past 5 days. So it's like it wouldn't have mattered anyways because I would have never had the 5 days to get a payout doing that stuff anyway. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
the
it's
odds.
crazy.
Yeah. So, and that's what I tell the other mentees is the best thing to do in any of these test accounts when you paid for them rather than on the demo, but if you paid for them, that you must trade them the same way that you're going to trade your account. And if you pass the combine or a test or PA, whatever account that is, then you're going to have that confidence that all you do is rinse and repeat. Now you hear all these people rinse and repeat on wins, but they don't know where the fuck they're at in the market. And if you continue to rinse and repeat, and you're not even on the right side of the market, you don't even know where you're at in the market, that is not going to work for a trader. But when you have a skill and a skill set that you can actually repeat over and over again, you're going to see that account grow pretty quickly and it's going to reach your targets. So don't over leverage
Right,
and just hone in on the skill because you're paying the money and that would be tuition. So if you pay for that account, that's automatic tuition and investment. That's your education, right?
right,
And that's why I say work on your skill when you buy these accounts. Don't buy them to gamble because I always say skill first, right? So I get in the market, I am honing in, I am working on my skill. because you don't want to work on your skill one day and gamble another day and gamble 3 more days and then work on your skill another day, right?
Right.
So once you get in that groove and you get on those train tracks and you keep pumping these out, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 trades. And then after your combine is set, go and look at your stats,
Yeah.
right? Go and look at your stats. I don't believe in all this BS bullshit like, oh, well, you won $68 on average on one trade and
Profit factor.
well, profit factor is okay, right? Depending on how many trades that you have. But the point is win rate. And when you're scalping, win rates are not always as accurate either because you
Yeah.
can have a bunch of losses in the dollars and cents area, right? But it
Yeah.
is what it is. But keeping it simple is how many trades have you executed and your win rate? Because anybody can take one trade and hit a home run. That doesn't mean you're a trader. When you can keep taking trades after trades after trades, hundreds and
Yeah.
thousands over time, and your win rate is high, that ought to tell you something. That person, that man or woman's got a fucking skill, right?
Yeah.
So not, well, I only take 1 or 2 trades a month, and that's not a trader. That's called an investor for anyone that's confused out there. Okay, a trader trades. A trader cannot overtrade. Okay, there isn't a thing of over trading if you know how to trade, right? Because if it presents itself, you take the trade. We don't pick and choose. There's not an A plus setup.
Right.
You know where you're at in the market. You know you need to take a trade. We don't like A plus, C, B, and D. Bullshit. It either exists or it doesn't exist. And when it does, you take it.
Fair enough.
Right on. So, anything else before we wrap it up?
No, I think that's it. I think we covered it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sire, for your time, and the community thanks you. I'm sure that you've said some things, and once again, a real simple person, young, wanting to learn, and already making progress on a skill. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Rich.
Have a good night. Peace, traders.